So, hello everyone. My name is Andrej. This is Frank. We are from Chainlink Labs. This is probably the most important screen you will need. So, if you want to grab the presentation to have it handy with you, we can do that now, and then we can start with this workshop. It's going to be a 20-minute long workshop. You can always ask questions afterwards, or if you need, we'll be at the booth as well. We can help you with brainstorming your ideas. We can help you with debugging issues. We can help you with actual implementation and with anything in between. So this is the presentation. Okay, I hope we all got it. If not, I'll have this QR code at the last slide as well for the ones that maybe will come early. Are we all set? Can we start? Okay, cool. So first of all, I have Frank with me. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Okay, hey everyone. My name is Frank, and with Andrej, we are developer relation engineers from Chainlink Labs. So we have a booth over there. If you have any technical issues or you want to talk about your ideas with us, and welcome to just ask us questions. And yeah.
So Frank will help me in the second part of our presentation with the privacy-related stuff. As he said, my name is Andrej. Here are my handles if you want to connect afterwards. My Telegram is the same as my Twitter handle. So if you want to text me if we're not at the booth during nights, or we'll be at the Discord as well, just please tag me so I get the notification. I'm Andrej Rakic or something over there. Okay, cool. So first and foremost, our bounties for this hackathon, the most important thing, I think. We have the bounty for the best CRE workflow. CRE stands for Chainlink Runtime Environment. Is essentially our orchestration layer, or you can say it as a platform that connects real world with smart contracts on any chain. We have two prizes for the two best projects using CRE that will give 2K each. That's the first bounty. Scanning on the QR code will actually lead you to each global page where you can read more details about each bounty. The second one is the best usage of the Chainlink privacy standard. So we shipped a lot of privacy features, and we will ship more of them in the upcoming weeks and months. For now, there are two that are live for this hackathon. Frank will explain you both of them in detail, but essentially we're giving 1K each to two best projects using Chainlink privacy standard. The good thing about it is this: one of these two are actually compatible with CRE. Is actually a feature of CRE, meaning you can combine both of them and be eligible for both prizes if your project is really that good. Of course, we are all for combining Chainlink with other blockchains and other sponsors over there. And Chainlink is a big platform having a lot of features. So we also have the Connect World with Chainlink bounty, which it's 1K for the best project using any other Chainlink services. Like that? Okay. More or less. Oh, okay, cool. Apologies for that. Which is for the best project using any other Chainlink service, from price feeds to CCP and everything in between. So those are bounties for this hackathon. I wish you luck. And as I said, if you want to brainstorm your ideas, need feedback, both me, Frank, and our colleague Sophia will be at the booth. Now, speaking of the AI stuff, sorry about this. I know that we're at a hackathon. I assume most of you does not type code by hand anymore. Is that true? Yes? Okay. How many of you are like developing code with AI or planning for this hackathon? Okay, cool. Thank you for concurring that. Okay, that's what we thought. And because of that, we built something called Chainlink Agent Skills. It's a repo containing AI skills. At the moment, what's supported is CRE skills and CCIP skills. So you can just npx install Chainlink Agent Skills. That way, you don't even need to be an expert in CRE to win a CRE prize, because you can use the skill. Same thing goes with CCIP. The CCIP skill, besides developing contract, would also work out of the box with CLI, SDK, API, meaning you can just tell the skill, hey, please transfer this amount of tokens to this chain. It will do for you, except it will refuse if it's mainnet, because we're at a hackathon and we're targeting testnet only. but that's for the skills. We also have our own NCP server covering all of other Chainlink products. It's located in the npm package named @chainlink/mcp-server. So you might want to check that out. Power users of skills, as I assume you already know, can connect skills to MCP service as well for the best results. So that's for that. Of course, we can help you with any issue you might have. We can help with debugging. Frank and I are both really technical, so we can actually debug your issues and help you with the implementation. Do not hesitate to reach to us. But these are the skills, and these skills should help you build much faster with Chainlink and also answer all the questions you might need that are without reading the documentation. Because how many of you are read documentation manually? Okay, much less hands. Okay, cool. Now let's go to the meat. What is Chainlink Runtime Environment? Since we have two bounties related to CRE, and since this is a fairly new product from Chainlink, I want to explain to you briefly what Chainlink Runtime Environment is, in case you haven't competed in our recently finished hackathon. So Chainlink Runtime Environment, on the right you will see the architecture is the orchestration layer that lets you write smart contracts, that lets you write workflows to connect with your smart contracts on any chain, and those workflows are mostly written in either Go or TypeScript. So essentially, this is mostly off-chain code that can connect real world with your smart contracts. And that off-chain code is extremely powerful because you can orchestrate multiple AA agents, for example, as one project already asked me about. So what you, as a developer, need to know. Three main concepts, and those are extremely simple. The first one is CRE workflows. So workflow is simply an off-chain code you develop. So this is the thing that you will develop, or to be more realistic, your AA agents will develop, hopefully using our skills, but without skills as well, it would work. These are written either in TypeScript or Go, meaning that you can leverage for TypeScript all the NPM packages that you will usually install, and for Go, all the standard libraries and packages that come with Go. So you can just plug in those into workflows as well. The important thing is that CRE will compile all of your workflow code to WebAssembly, and then it will run it across decentralized Oracle network. Decentralized Oracle network is the same one we have for other Chainlink services, meaning that there is no single point of failure. Each of these nodes in a DON will execute your workflow code, and then they will talk to each other to reach a consensus on the final callback before you give the final callback. If you're familiar with functions, this is just functions but way better because you can combine multiple different EVM reads and writes in the same workflow, different use cases, etc. This is the hello world. You can see it's only 28 lines of code long, and it's because of the formatter it's even less. You will see that each workflow, so init workflow function will return an array of handlers. So handler is basically a combination of a trigger and the callback function. In this example, the trigger is a cron trigger, and the callback function is the onCron trigger just slightly above, which is just console logging hello world. I mentioned triggers. So what are triggers? Second concept. CRE triggers is basically a primitive that tell CRE when to execute your workflow. So workflow is a code you write, that workflow needs to be run. So this trigger tells you when to run it. And it can be on a schedule, which is essentially a cron job. It can be when you receive an HTTP request of any kind, or it can be when a smart contract emits an event. So you can listen to certain smart contracts to certain events from certain smart contracts on certain blockchains. So that means that if an event has an index to filter, you can filter that as well. Finally, capability. Capability is what your workflow can do. And each capability runs its own specialized DON with built-in consensus. It can read from chain, write to chain, have a private HTTP requests, public HTTP requests, or orchestrate AI agents, and more. So this is what your workflow can do. And now, speaking of privacy, I'll let you, Frank, explain how we can work with the Chainlink privacy standard for the second bounty. Here you go, Frank.
Thank you, Andrej, and thanks for everyone. So we are going to the Chainlink privacy features. So for the Chainlink CRE, as mentioned by Andrej just now, we will use our decentralized Oracle network to just help you to relay the data from the off-chain to the on-chain, or to help you to send a HTTP request to the external API from your smart contract. So since that is decentralized, so the different Oracle under this network will be operated by different entities. So if you have some sensitive data and maybe your LLM key or some other secret, you want to hide this secret behind all the nodes in the Oracle decentralized Oracle network, you can use this privacy feature. And for the privacy feature, for the capabilities just mentioned by Andrej, we will allow the users to send the HTTP request in the callback function. So when the trigger is fired, this HTTP request can be sent from the callback function. And you have two ways to send HTTP request. The first one is a standard one. And the second one is here, the confidential one. So if you really want to keep something that cannot be found by the node operators, you can use the confidential one. And the way why it can be confidential, because we have a different DAO for the secret to store. And in this DAO, the secret saved in this DAO can only be fetched by the enclave. And the enclave will directly find your secret and then decrypt the secret in the enclave and use that to send HTTP request. And if you set the flag as a true, then the result can be encrypted in this enclave. So when it returned back to your machine, you will have an encrypted result, and you can do whatever you want to decrypt it or do anything you want. That is a confidential HTTP request. And the way to write this confidential one is pretty similar as the standard one, because you only need to use this thing, the vote down secret, and it requires you to upload your secret to the vote down and use that in your callback functions. And with that, you can use the confidential HTTP client to send a request in a private way. Okay, that one is for the confidential HTTP send. And the other privacy feature we provide in this hackathon is called a compliance private token transfer. So simply put, we have a vote smart contract, and you can transfer a ERC20 tokens, any ERC20 tokens, and to this vote. And every user can generate a shielded address through the API. And if you transfer this token to the shielded address from any user, and the user will use the API to get a receipt and use the receipt to withdraw the token from this vote. And this token was transferred to his shielded address, not his real address. And this can be true. And maybe you are worrying about if that make any difference from like protocols that related to the money laundering. And we also provide something called ACE, and this will help you to set a rule for all the transfers within this vote. Because if you want to set a rule like this address is banned, and when before the transfer, I need to do the verifications. I need to just use the off-chain API to verify this is good. And you can set all the rules in this ACE and bind this ACE with your vote, and it can implement a compliant token transfer in the private way. And yeah, we have the API website here, and also we provide a REPL for the standard use of the private token transfer, and you can just check all the code by yourself or by your AI agent. And yeah, that's it.
Do you have any questions?
I think we might be out of time for questions. If maybe you have one question and the rest can be done at the booth.
We can do one question and then we can done the rest afterwards. So if you have any questions, you can raise them now. This is the QR code for this presentation if you need it. Yeah, can you just get the mic, please?
I still don't understand. How do you unlink my identity from being able to pay with? I pay for these services, so I pay for Oracle services. How do I link the payer from?
You pay in link tokens that node operators consume. So we don't ask for KYC and stuff like that.
So if I pay with link tokens, you know where I paid from. Which address I paid from.
I don't understand the question. Like, depends on the service again. Like, we can talk more details at the booth, but depends what you want to do. Like, for example, for CRE, for this hackathon, if you run CRE workflow simulate, that's totally fine with us. Like, that's
But
eligible for price.
there's no way to kind of privately pay, like Tornado Cash kind of. Link tokens.
Okay.
Yeah, we can talk in the booth. And I think you're asking about a private token transfer, right? Actually, for the link token, if you pay for the services, that is not a private transfer, and everybody will know your address. But what I was talking about is another feature we provide to use the ACE to do the compliance token transfer, and yeah.
We can explain more at the booth because we're out of time. Okay.
Yeah, that is two different. So for the payment of the Chainlink service, that is not private.
Yeah. Sorry, we're out of time. Thank you so much. We'll answer all the questions at the booth. Sorry, guys. Thank you.